The learning outcome of this module is to understand ways to have more effective meetings through proper planning, facilitating conversations, and managing differences. Let's get started.
We're going to talk about the action steps to make meetings more effective through proper planning, facilitating conversations, and managing differences. First, make sure you plan every meeting you have. Building agreement is an essential component of an effective team. So the purpose of any meeting is to obtain agreement. Whether it's a decision, a plan, or an issue that must be supported, effective meetings should always end in agreements that are clear and supported by all team members. If you don't do this, you'll either be in meeting purgatory, what did we talk about last time? Or you tend to see the dreaded meeting after the meeting, where everyone tells each other what they really thought about it. An important and often overlooked step to ensure successful meetings is preparation. As a rule, you should spend at least half the time of the meeting preparing for it. So if you're going to have an hour-long meeting, you probably need to prepare about 30 minutes for it. So begin by determining the purpose of the meeting. Is it to just share information? Is it to solve a specific problem? Is it to resolve differences, etc.? Once you've got your purpose, next determine who needs to be there. Generally, you should have a representative from every group that's going to be affected by the topic of the meeting and the decision that will come from it. If you don't have the right people at the table, you can't really achieve the meeting's purpose, and you're vulnerable to vetoes from people who it might affect who weren't there to determine the decision. Next, determine how decisions will be made. Is it a team meeting decision? Is there one final decider? Who's going to be that person? And make sure to review this information in the meeting. And then finally, create an agenda. This agenda should include the desired outcome, meeting topics, the responsible parties, and the time allotted per topic. Next, set the stage for the meeting. Begin the meeting by ensuring everyone knows each other. If not, at a minimum, ask each person to share their name, their job, and what perspectives they bring to the meeting. Then, agree on some meeting ground rules. You can ask, what are the guidelines we should follow to make this meeting successful? Some of these could be, an example could be one person talks at a time, that there's no rank in the room, that meetings start and end on time, etc. And then next, agree on the purpose and desired outcomes of the meeting. You can use your agenda to focus this particular piece of the topic. Next, dive into the information or the topic you want to discuss. Remember, your focus is creating agreement. So, what will be done, what has been decided, who will do what, and by when it will get done. Keep track of each action item and reached agreements on a separate piece of paper, and then review them at the end of the meeting. This is obviously what flip charts and whiteboards are for. Make sure that everyone's contributing, either verbally or in writing, to all team discussions. It's always a little dangerous to have someone in a meeting room who's going to be affected by it, who's not contributing, because they may be harboring either doubt or some other issues that they'll bring up later or will use as a way to veto a decision later. Next, learn how to refocus the discussion, because if your meeting's getting off track, you have the ability to refocus the discussion. A respectful way to do this is to say something like, I think this is an important issue that you're bringing up, but not related to what we came to discuss today. Can we make a note of it and come back to it later? And you should always agree on the process to discuss a particular item. For example, it seems like we need a creative solution. Can we all agree to spend 15 minutes generating all the ideas we can work around evaluating? If someone breaks a process agreement, you can say something like, hey John, I know you want to move forward, but we agreed to list all of our ideas before evaluating them. Can you hold that comment and so we can come back to it in a moment? Everyone has been in a meeting where someone tries to hijack the discussion and turn it into a personal soapbox. If this happens, you can say something like, hey Mary, I know this issue is important to you and I can appreciate how you feel about it, but today we really want to make sure we accomplish, the meeting goal. Can we come back to this topic if we have time at the end? Finally, learn to manage team differences. Sometimes constructive debate can turn into personal attacks or stalemates where members of the meeting cannot or will not agree. Your role when you've called this meeting should be to help participants listen to each other, hold them accountable for their behavior, and help move towards a resolution. If tensions run high or emotional outbursts occur, Adjourn the meeting or take a break. You have that power as the person who called the meeting and the facilitator. Then address the matter in private with the individuals involved. If the team is struggling to work together efficiently and effectively after, trying the above actions, consider enlisting a team coach.
We hope that you found this module on effective meetings useful. Remember, there's a complete transcript of this video below, and there are downloadable takeaways that you can use offline. Also, leave us a comment below about how you're better at having effective meetings today, or leave us a comment about how we can make this section better. Thanks.